Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Crypto Hipster Podcast. This is your host, Jamil Hassan, the Crypto Hipster, where I bring you founders, entrepreneurs, executives, thought leaders, you name it, across the world in crypto and blockchain. And today, I have an amazing guest. And how do I know he's an amazing guest? Because I interviewed him about a year and a half ago, and it was an excellent interview. And I look forward to today's conversation. My guest today is Kurt Ivey. He has been in the crypto space for a while. He's representing a company today called HumanizedAI. He also has his own company project he's working on. Kurt, welcome back.
Thank you, Jamil. Thanks for having me again.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. So, kick things off. Since we last spoke in August 2022, what's your background, and then what have you been up to since we last spoke?
Yeah, I'll say my background first. My background was originally in writing, and I got my start in Web3 helping a project called ShopX launch. We had a big launch back then, 144x, 2.75 million raised. I helped with the white paper, and I was writing articles and blog posts. From there, I pivoted into writing articles and press releases and a few more white papers through a Web3 marketing agency. And then after about a year of that, I started managing the clients at the agency. I was, helping create the marketing strategies, and I was starting to build my own PR network and attending events at the time, just really getting into things on my own. And now for the last year and a half, like maybe 2 years, I've been focusing on social media, and I've been working to improve the growth hacking and community building methods. And during that time, things are always changing. So I'm trying to keep up with things. And now that the new year has started, definitely hitting the ground running. Since we last spoke, it's been, last year was pretty dry. I did have a few more clients after last time we spoke, but after that, things started to die down. So I took a break and I started focusing on my own project, Coffee Nova. Of course, I didn't have much of a choice, but it was just a good opportunity for me to pivot, work on my own things. So yeah, now that the new year started again, it's getting a lot more clients and getting back to that.
Awesome. So I want to ask you, actually, before we get into HumanizedAI, I want to ask you briefly what Coffee Nova is all about.
Oh, of course. I mean, Coffee Nova is a very unique project, I believe, with a very unique business model and a unique offering. So it's a canned coffee beverage, and it has brain health supplements, also called nootropics. So the focus is to increase your motivation, reduce mental fatigue. You just feel more bright, energized, and awake. And it also tastes great. I brought it to an event in Bitcoin Miami. Brought 500 cans. They were all every one of them was drank, so had a good reception there. The business model is the NFT Web3 affiliate program. So if you buy one of my NFTs, you'll be an affiliate, and every time someone buys from the website, they're required to use an affiliate code. So that means every NFT holder will always get not always get a sale, but an NFT holder will always get the sale, even if it's random. So that's sort of the incentive to buy into the project, because you're the gateway between the customer and the product. And I'm also going to be partnering with Web3 projects where I put their artwork on my can, and they can sell that custom can to their community. So a lot of interesting avenues there. Looking for funding to continue, but for now, I'm just kind of working on it slowly.
I like it. I just recently stopped drinking caffeine, and now I switched to green tea. So it doesn't taste quite as good, but hey, it is what it is. So HumanizedAI. Let's talk about that. What is HumanizedAI? What market problem does the company solve?
Right. So HumanizedAI is working to help make AI output more human and natural based on human input. So how it works is AI companies who will want their AI models and apps to be more human-like, they'll create a data set, and that will be evaluated by a crowdsourced pool of users. So you send that data set to Humanized AI. The team adds it to the back end of the Humanized AI app, and then users will complete simple tasks in order to quantify to earn, which is, they will make small adjustments to the data, and then they'll earn the HMZ token in return for their efforts. Then all that feedback is collected as a batch and returned to that AI company for evaluation. Their goal, of course, will be to refine their AI models, and they'll use that data to do that.
You hear a lot about like play to earn, like different ways to earn. So what makes quantify to earn, unique, and what's the difference with that?
Yeah, I would say it's more of a task than a game. Of course, they'll try to make it as easy and, I guess, enjoyable as possible. But yeah, it's more of a job. So you're quantifying the data in order to earn the token, and the AI companies are on the other end of that, providing those rewards. Like crowdsourcing, human potential, and it's sort of like that. A long time ago, they crowdsourced people to help. Was it with a genetics project? And they remember that, and they were able to solve the problem within a very short amount of time that they weren't able to solve in a long time. So it's sort of like that.
Got it. Okay. So there's a token sale going on right now, right? So I want to find out the current status of the project, and then what the roadmap is, and what the proposal is for that crowdsourcing or initial funding round.
Yeah, I mean, the pre-sale is going on right now until the 18th. Today's the 12th. And right now they're starting with the platform development. They have the sort of prototype out. They're trying to finish that up. And, the funding also will help with securing other partnerships. Of course, they're trying to partner with other AI companies who may need this, try and get those partnerships set up in advance so that they can, have that, I guess, income potential lined up. And then after the platform is ready in Q2, they will shift the focus to beta testing, and they will engage with the community to refine the platform based on the user feedback. Is it too boring? Is it too dry? Like, can they do anything to make the platform easier to use? That'll be the next step. Q3, they will publicly launch, and they will continue increasing partnerships with AI companies. And the more AI companies are involved, the better for the user. And of course, they will also try to implement cross-chain functionality, which shouldn't be too difficult. It's just getting the token on other chains, in order to expand the user base. Q4 and beyond, the team will, again, be continuing with partnerships. But the near to future goals are to capitalize on the data that they're collecting. Try to find a way to monetize the data, and eventually they'll use that data to develop their own proprietary AI models. And then in the farther future, like 2027 and beyond, they will try to keep expanding globally, branch off into other AI solutions, pick up a few strategic acquisitions and partnerships to expand their technology and maintain the competitive edge. So that's about it.
So breaking off, I mean, there's a lot of hype right now. There's a lot of hype, and there's a lot of actuality, right? Whenever I put a new book on Amazon, Amazon asks me is if it was computer generated content. The answer is always no, right? But in addition to content creating those other AI solutions, what's the difference between hype and what's real?
I think I had to ask, hear the question again. Not sure I understand.
Yeah, what are those other AI solutions? What's the growth potential?
As far as like images and voice, are we talking more on in the financial side, like trading bots and stuff like that, or anything?
Yeah, everything. What do you think? What do you think about AI?
I
Everybody
mean,
play up. What do you think?
AI is amazing for me, especially it's great for organizing data. So Bard, for example, it's great for research. ChatGPT is great if I just pump in a bunch of data, ask it for summaries, ask it for analysis. So a lot of companies are using it for just that, organizing data and trying to um, give you some output that makes sense. So this could apply to a lot of things like there's social media, analyst platforms that will sort of read the sentiment, and there is a lot of companies using that right now. What is that one? Exord is one of them. A lot of the social media platforms, analyst platforms like Hootsuite or stuff like that, they're starting to use AI to just read the sentiment and pump out some answer. So that's a big use case for AI, is just organizing data and being able to tell you something about it. Because it's hard to it's just hard to accumulate, just read all of that and make your own conclusions on the spot.
It is. It is. It's amazing what the social sentiment, capturing can do. I want to know, Lee, though, what are the challenges and dangers with AI today, and how do we begin to solve them?
Yeah, so on the challenges side, in regards to humanized AI, there are there are a lot of artifacts that come out of AI that are just strange or inhuman. Um, the uncanny valley or the chaotic outputs. For example, you have the six fingers or the 40 teeth in the images. Um, in the voice outputs, there can be strange ups and downs. There are some AI companies that will do voice for people who can't speak properly, so they want that to sound as natural and human as possible. So this could help with that. With ChatGPT, if it's going to be doing some writing for me, it often sounds very commercialized or robotic or just kind of strange. And um, this humanizing can help with that as well. So also, I think AI has a very hard time with nuance, sarcasm, implication, innuendo, anything like that. You have to be very direct with it. It's not very clever. It's just smart. It can organize data, but you know, so there's a platform called Chirper where there's these it's like a social media platform for AI. So it's like kind of like a joke. It's like a story almost that you're participating in, and if it doesn't come off as human, a project like that won't work very well. Some dangers of AI are just with the misinformation. Nowadays, misinformation is spreading like wildfire, and it always has. People say we're in a post-truth era. We've never been in a pre-truth era. We've always had a problem with the truth, and it's becoming even more of a challenge with AI. Although it still is an issue of doing your own research and believing whatever you see online. We've had that problem forever. But AI can definitely make that worse. So there's a few possibilities with AI of creating a problem, but also a few possibilities with it helping the problem, as far as being able to uh, quantify data and determine if something is false or AI generated.
I want to get in a couple of things you said there. Oops. Nuance, sarcasm, and you said that area, like, that's always been a problem with human data, right? I mean, um, that's not picked up really well in email either. Using
Right.
sarcasm. How do you begin to capture humanized AI when most people have some level of trying to be, cocky and funny, or be nuanced, or have sarcasm? How do you actually weed through that in your platform to be able to get to the data?
Yeah, I mean that's a difficult question, and it's something that we'll have to find over time. based on the crowdsourcing of that feedback. So if you have a platform like Chirper, where they're social media characters acting out some fake reality, if you're going to go in and quantify that data, you would have to tell the AI, okay, this was actually sarcasm. You responded to it as if it was literal, but it wasn't. So how you can tell is, XYZ. Maybe there's it's not too serious. Maybe it's over the top when it's a situation where it shouldn't have been. So yeah, I mean, it's something that'll have to emerge over time. And if it was so easy for me to answer, I think we wouldn't need a platform like this. So I think that's a bit of a cop out, but that's my answer.
Well, I got your answer.
Yeah.
Well, you said where you will be able to tag it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
in any system, you have to be able to tag and map things anyway. Yeah, even SQL, like whatever, you have to be able. So if you can tag that it is sarcasm, then you'll be able, that's part of the data capture, right?
Correct.
That sounds good to me. Um, Now you said dangers include spreading misinformation. That gets spread anyway on Twitter or on X or whatever, and even in the media, right? How do we, as a society, begin to solve that spreading of misinformation? Because I would definitely love to know.
Yeah. And as I think I mentioned, as AI can make this a little bit worse, I think it can also make it a lot better, because of its ability to, gather and quantify information. Hopefully we could start using this to root out misinformation. And what if there's a button on X, for example, where you could just click, is this true? And ChatGPT will say, nope, this is wrong. So it's something that we need to look into, and it's hopefully it's possible that a platform like Humanized AI can begin to accumulate the data necessary to start rooting out AI generated content in social media or whatever it may be. So yeah, there is a possibility there of helping that problem rather than exacerbating it.
Yeah. So the benefits of humanized AI, then specifically, what are they from both the user's perspective and the company's perspective, and why should people start to embrace those benefits that you offer?
Yeah, so from a user's perspective, of course, you will earn the token for your efforts. The AI companies on one end, they provide the revenue because they need the workers, so they'll buy into the token, and then the users will quantify their data in order to earn a token. From the AI company's perspective, they get the crowdsourced human input in a very efficient, decentralized type of platform that will help them develop and humanize their data sets. And this could even extend to crowdsourcing inputs that don't necessarily relate to humanizing the outputs. If they just need crowdsourced input on whatever data they might have, humanized AI will be the go-between between those two, between both parties. They may need feedback on something unrelated to humanizing exactly. But yeah, so the AI companies get the crowdsourcing, and then everyone else who uses the AI tools or interacts with them in some way will benefit from a more natural and human experience. So if you're using any kind of platform that uses AI and you want it to sound natural, like, hey, this actually works pretty good compared to, I remember this not working very well, but now AI is pretty humanized. So
All right, so I want to get an idea of the data that's going to be captured by the project, by company, right? Because it looks like whenever I go to Google, I don't even need to, I go to google.com and it shows you all my top interests. Or, if I'm capturing, if I'm on social media and I see, something like Elon Musk make a tweet about something, then I know he's going to be investing in it, right? Certain things are simple, right? Other things are harder for the user to provide to companies, right? What is the exact data, or that you're trying foremost to capture, right? And why should people start thinking about their data as an asset that needs to be captured?
Yeah, so this data will be a little bit different than the typical user data. This is just the input that the user, decides to add to the app. So it's not like they're adding their likes and dislikes exactly. It's more that they're quantifying the information that an AI company sent them based on very specific, you know, parameters. What's that data going to look like? It will mostly be it'll mostly be nonsensical to most for most other purposes. It'll just be something that that one AI company uses to help build their model. So yeah, I wouldn't say there's a lot of danger in like, oh, is a humanized AI going to be using all this data for some nefarious purpose? It's really just educational. It's all for the purpose of building these AI models, and there's not much use outside of that. So yeah, does that answer the question?
Yeah, it does. It does. Because I want to get into my next one, which is blockchain. This is the Crypto Hipster podcast. I ask all questions about blockchain and how it relates to different areas and topics. And so I want to find out from you what is blockchain's relationship, first of all, to AI look like?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So first, on the most obvious side of this is uh, decentralizing AI access and AI. What do you call it? Distribution. So you can decentralize the computing power so that multiple nodes can provide AI to the community. You can also decentralize the access through distributing rewards. So, or wait, you can just decentralize access. Anyone can access it because it's a decentralized network, cheaper. ChatGPT is like $20, I think, a month. I'm not sure if it's still that. If you have a distributed network, it could be a lot cheaper, maybe a couple of dollars. And then distributing the rewards will be decentralized as well. So a ChatGPT will give rewards only to the apps on its platform based on how many people use those apps. And decentralized network, you might have a bunch of people, like for example, HumanizedAI, all those individuals using the app, they will all get rewards for participating in some way. So that's kind of a basic way of connecting to blockchain. A more important way will be to put the AI's data and the AI's decision-making process on the blockchain. So the AI decides, if there's XYZ steps in the process to getting to this output, you can put all those decisions on the blockchain as transactions, and then you can go back and verify and audit those decisions. And there's a couple of different uses for that. One is determining, how and why the AI made that decision, and seeing if it's a valid decision-making process, if it kind of steps on any regulation or any, I think you mentioned earlier, any any kind of plagiarism or anything like that. So you can go back and see, hey, this actually made this decision that wasn't, it shouldn't have done that. It shouldn't have pulled from this data in this way and used it exactly how it did. So, you need to correct that. So yeah, just tracing its decision-making process and also the data it pulls together. So organizing that data. Yeah, so I think that's a big part of it, is just keeping track of AI and helping make it more secure.
Makes sense to me. Something I've heard, over the years in blockchain is you have with Bitcoin, you have proof of work. With Ethereum, you have proof of stake, and now with AI cryptos, you have proof of provenance, right? Going back to what you said, why is proof of provenance important, and why do people need to just stop believing the first thing they're told on social media? Take a step back and look where that proof is. Like, why is that important? Why is that going to continue to be important going forward?
Yeah, proof of provenance, and I kind of touched on this a couple of times. Like AI, its decision making process, and um, its ability to quantify data will be important in determining the, I guess, the veracity of its conclusions and even the veracity of other people's conclusions. So with a blockchain, if it's tracking its decision making, then we can sort of help track that proof of provenance on the AI side. On the user side, when if the AI is used to detect proof of provenance, um, yeah, I mean it would be great if people can just do their own research and not believe the first thing they see online. But if we can have most, if not all, data sort of tracked in this way and quantified, and maybe we can help stop that spread of misinformation and give people a resource to check their data a little more quickly, maybe at the click of a button. Uh, so
I
yeah,
like
yeah.
I like the idea of the easy button. You
Although
know,
I'm really not sure if people will trust it 100%. They'll just say, if it doesn't say something they like, they may say it's it's not real. It's not a good AI or something like that, or it's woke AI or something like that.
I woke up this morning and I looked on Twitter X, and I keep saying calling it Twitter X, as people know. And I saw Joe Biden's profile with Bitcoin laser eyes,
Yeah.
and people were like, "What? Was that real? Was that him? You know, and why? Um, so it doesn't tell you the why yet, but maybe someday it can."
Yeah, that's an easy Photoshop. I'm not sure if it's true. I didn't bother to look into it because it's just can't really spend my time doing that, wasting time in politics. But yeah, was that real? I mean, was it?
I,
I think it was a reaction to the Super Bowl or something like that.
maybe.
It was because they thought it was rigged, and the Joe Biden account said, "Oh yeah, we did rig it as a joke." Um,
Okay.
but
All
I'm
right.
not. I don't know. I don't know if that's real.
Yeah, that's a simple question. Like it's like, okay, but I think Providence will be able to tell us that. So that's something they got to think about. Um,
AI Snopes.
yeah. So let's see. I want to thank you very much for coming on today. Um, you said that the pre-sale is going on now, and I enjoy talking to you again. I hope we could do this more often. You said the pre-sale now is going on. Today is February 12th. The pre-sale will last until the 18th, right? Um,
Yep.
if anybody wants to learn more, how can they do that? How can they find out more information? How can they get involved? How can they look you guys up and act quickly? How can they do that?
First thing you should do, of course, is join Telegram. Very lively community. Somewhat small, but it's they're very excited. It's growing very quickly, and you can of course join or visit the website humanizedai.io. Read the docs there, and yeah, again, going to the 18th, the pre-sale, so you might want to get in quick. And that's about it.
Awesome. Thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you, Jamil.